yes. And that's where the color power comes in, because we all have the choice.
We all do have the choice. So where did your journey start?
Where did my journey start? Actually, probably as a very small child, and then my mother demonstrating to me belief in her knowingness, and just looking at, a catalog and looking at patterns and saying to my mother that this is what was going to be in style next year, and she tracked it and told me I was right on. And it just went from there. I just kept being in love with, pattern design and color, and just kept going with it until I did fashion design. Then art, and it all came together. It kind of, the connections were all there. And so it's kind of those connections as they come together from all facets of life that I tried to bring into when I'm sharing the use of color to people.
Well, that's...
Which you do, because I've seen the variety of even the clothes you wear. You choose a specific color for a day that you feel is right, and it really shows, it really suits you.
Well, thank you, yeah. And that's where I feel that people can really get in control of their own lives and their own spaces to choose that for themselves. Unfortunately, we're also dedicated and directed by what is available to us, and we don't kind of keep our eyes open for what we like. We need to look more closely at what makes us feel good, not necessarily what's the current style, whether that varies in homes or in your fashion or in your buildings or just generally in the food you eat too. It comes down to absolutely everything that you're involved with. You respond to color. It's reflected light, it's energy.
So you're saying you felt the power of color at an early age in your life, and it was kind of a motivation for you?
I believe so, yeah. And, I never really decided when it happened. I just knew that even when I was young doing fashion designing for myself, I would choose colors that just seemed to not be what the average person was choosing, let's say that way.
And you see that from time to time. You're on a bus or on a train and everybody pretty much looks the same. Then there's that one person that has the green, blue, red, and gold socks on or whatever, and they just kind of stand out because of the individuation of the choice of the vibrancy of the colors that they really respond to. They're doing it because it feels right.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
And when I hear you talking, I have to go back to the questions that I asked Richard before you came on. And I've always had a fascination with color and whatnot myself. And I've always been kind of, wondered on how, as a seeing individual, how we can express color and share that with those that, possibly can't see. And, because on many levels, color, the same as music, has its own frequency, and it's not as easy to explain as anything else. But I truly believe that even if someone isn't able to visually see the color that they're with, it can still affect them somehow. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, go ahead, please, Audrey.
Okay, well, actually, when I was studying art, one of my professors did a study for the university, for the government of Alberta. At the same time, studies were done in China and in France and I think in Australia, and it was on color and its power. And his experiment was to change the lighting in one school, in one room, and in another room, in a different school, he changed the lighting and the color of the wall of the principal's office. And in another school, he changed both the color and the lighting in a school that actually had children who were blind. And the results were tremendous, and these are all documented. And in the one particular school where the children just had the lighting difference, because, they're relaxed more and they did better in their school and more concentration. The principal went off his heart medication in 1 month's time. And in the other school with the children who were blind, the blind children react exactly the same as the children with sight.
I knew it.
Yeah, and this has
Isn't
been
that something?
documented in many times. And color not only has that ability, it has texture. It has textures, and studies have been done in that way, where they've put different colors on in a closed box and have people put their hands and then say what kind of texture you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And those textures relate to color as well. So we are affected by it consistently, every part of our day, all the time.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting how we use it in our everyday language? I'm feeling the blues, the yellow coward, green with envy, red with rage. You know, we just have embedded those frequencies into the very language we speak.
Well, you know, the advertising agencies certainly know the power of color. And, you know, if you go historically back, the only people who were allowed to wear bright colors were those at the very, very top. Anybody else could be, you know, put in jail or killed or, you know, because of it.
Only royalty could wear purple,
Yeah, and so it's been used in all cultures in some aspects to control people. And it's, in a lot of ways, that's what's done with the advertising agency, but it's also done in another way as well. And it speaks of different groups of people and different areas of life, trying to bring everybody into a harmony